When you're playing a board game with people and someone's playing by a different set of rules and they're crushing everyone, you play by their rules to win. You have invariably seen this movement afoot with Republicans in Texas after Donald Trump said he wants 5 seats. He did the same thing on a national stage that he did in private with Brad Raffensperger in Georgia. I need you to find me 11,780 votes. Just find me the votes. Find them so I can have won this election. Then he lost. He's doing the same thing now on a grander scale where he wants the state of Texas to provide him 5 extra congressional seats in the middle of a census period of time. Normally, this is would have been done in 2020 after the census. They're doing it in the middle of a decade, which doesn't happen, only to cheat. Only because they know they are up against it right now, that people are wildly unhappy with them cutting Medicaid, with restricting abortion access, all the wild tax cuts for billionaires while saddling all of that on future generations in the form of multi-trillions of dollars in debt. Trillions added to the debt. So they know they got to do something. Otherwise, they're going to lose the House. They're going to lose the Senate. And then it is over for them. They know. So they are being pushed back against finally by some Democrats who are not going to take this laying down. Kathy Hochul from New York. Gavin Newsome from California. Hopefully others. Hopefully there's some room in Massachusetts, Colorado, Illinois. Maybe there's some other states, Washington State. Maybe there's some states where they say, you know what? We're going to play by the same rules that Republicans are laying down. No longer is there going to be this my good friend across the aisle nonsense that has persisted for decade after decade after decade. The same thing that I grilled members of the Senate when I was on Capitol Hill the other day. Cory Booker, Alex Padilla, Elizabeth Warren, Tina Smith. I talked to every single one of them about this. That we need to exist in the new political order that has been created by Republicans. If they're going to change the rules, we're going to abide by their rules. And Kathy Hochul, for one, in New York, I don't know if it's Hochul or Hochul. I'll probably vacillate between the two because I'm just that stupid. She had this to say yesterday. And then I'm going to play Greg Abbott on Sean Hannity last night, responding to what the governor of New York said. And we're going to end with Gavin Newsome, who I've had my criticism of, and I still do, but I'm going to call balls and strikes when he does something good. He's going to get some praise for it. First, the governor of the state of New York.
Last decade, we redid redistricting. Hard to say. Do you think, given this situation where we've had these court battles, everything, that in this 2027 amendment that you may put forward, that the Independent Redistricting Commission should be disbanded or changed in some way so that you don't have to go through that again in 32?
Yes. I'm tired of fighting this fight with my hand tied behind my back. With all due respect to the good government groups, politics is a political process. And to think that we're going to do this with a purity test and make sure it's completely fair to everybody involved. The reason we are able to draw the lines because we're Democrats, because the majority of people in this state elected us to be leaders. And when we say that we cannot use that power to its fullest, then we're abdicating the responsibility that we all have. Republicans take over the legislature, they can have at it. But until then, we're in charge, and we're sick and tired of being pushed around when other states don't have the same aspirations that we always have had. And I hold those dear. But I cannot ignore that the playing field has changed dramatically. And shame on us if we ignore that fact and cling tight to the vestiges of the past. That era is over. Donald Trump eliminated that forever.
I like the energy. Look, if you want to change the rules too, start winning some elections in this state. Same thing, Texas. You want to start doing this? All right. Game on. Other states can do the same thing. If you want to try to put your thumb on the scale, we have answers. And we've got the population. There are more. Let me put it this way. I'm from Idaho. I'm originally from the state of Idaho. Idaho has 1.5 million people, maybe nearing 2, maybe 1.7, maybe, right? 2 senators. The state of California has 50 some million people, 49, 50 million people, 2 senators. The Senate is disproportionately undemocratic. It's set up that way. So we'll balance the scales here. Last night on Sean Hannity, well, they tried their best to make this seem like a normal thing that's happening. And even with their justifications and their explanations, they're not doing a good job. This is what Greg Abbott had to say. Just batshit that this is the guy that they've elected to be their governor who can't even communicate basic principles. Watch this.
Well, certainly it should be somewhat proportional to what the vote is. What is your response to Kathy Hochul, who says that we are at war over Texas and the redistricting push that's going on in Texas?
There's a bunch of crazy bluster. Democrats are freaking out because they are realizing Texas has the authority to redistrict, and we're going to do so in a way that's going to lead to these additional seats that will vote Republican, and they will be serving in Congress in the next session. And so Democrats are freaking out about it, engaging in rhetoric, but I don't think they have the capability of actually living up to it and doing anything about it. Texas will continue to fight for what is right, and that's exactly what we are doing.
Is it a fair statement to say that Republicans, in terms of the percentages and numbers that they have voted, have been unfairly cheated out of their representation? I think that's a more fair statement.
Well, a different way to say it, and that is, at least in Texas,
and not your state. I'm talking about blue states.
Yeah, and I'll talk about both. In Texas, we are going to ensure that voters are going to be able to vote for their candidate of choice.
That sounds like a challenge. I don't think Democrats have the capability of living up to doing anything about this. That's a challenge. That's, oh yeah, what are you going to do about it? We will see. This is something that should have been done long ago. It is fundamentally not the way I would have things done. But again, when the rules change, when you're playing a board game with people and someone's playing by a different set of rules and they're crushing everyone, you play by their rules to win. And that is exactly the message that was spoken just the other day by Gavin Newsom on the steps of the California Capitol in Sacramento.
Everything is at stake if we're not successful next year in taking back the House of Representatives. Of course, we want a fair playing field. We want to play the game on the terms where everybody is playing by the same set of rules. That's no longer the case. We have to disenthrall ourselves that that's the case. Not with Donald Trump, not when he made a call to the governor of Texas and talked about finding 5 additional seats so that he can try to hold the line and maintain the majority in the House of Representatives. The game has changed. It is a 5-alarm fire for democracy in the United States of America. And so that's why we're here, to have the back not only of those representatives from Texas, but the people of Texas that are struggling and suffering from the same kind of assault on not just the rule of law, but this assault on democracy that binds us together as a nation.
Of course, we want a fair playing field. We want to play the game on the terms where everybody is playing by the same set of rules. That fundamentally is fairness. This is why steroids in sports is such an issue when nobody else is on steroids, and then you got your Ben Johnson from Canada coming in. I'm really dating myself, and track and field nobody knows anything about. So, I'm talking to an audience of maybe 1,500. But Ben Johnson's crushing world records while he's on steroids, while Carl Lewis, not on steroids, gets beat. Boy, I'm really dating myself. So if Either everybody's on steroids or everybody's not on steroids. The Republican Party wants to be the party on steroids while the rest of us are not. It's not the way it works. We're all going to be on the same page. We're all going to be playing by the same rules. And if this is the rules that you're setting, you will be crushed. You will be beaten. And then all your whining will be for naught because you brought this on yourselves. Remember that, Republicans. Remember that. Anyway, what do you think about this? I would appreciate your feedback. You can comment below. You can call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. Please subscribe. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on social media. I am at Dollemore everywhere. But make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. We are trying to grow this operation into something more powerful, with more reach, to spread the truth. Anyway, I love and appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. Until then, be genuine and take care of one another.